Why you'll never get rich working for money and what the rich do instead. Let me tell you something most people will never admit, not because it's complicated, but because it's uncomfortable. The way you've been taught to think about money is incomplete. Not wrong, just incomplete. And that missing piece, it's the reason why some people work their entire lives and never break out, while others seem to bend money to their will. Same world, same economy, same 24 hours, completely different outcomes. Why? Because they're not playing the same game. Let's strip everything down to the truth. No motivation, no hype, no, just grind harder. There are only a few ways money moves. That's it. Forget the illusion of infinite options. There aren't. At the most basic level, there are only a handful of ways to acquire wealth. One of them, you take it, force, fraud, manipulation. But if you have any kind of moral compass, that option disappears immediately. Another, you receive it, inheritance, family wealth. But let's be honest, most people are not born into that position. And even if they were, it comes with time, waiting, dependence. Then there's marrying into it, which sounds like a shortcut until you realize what you're trading: freedom, control, identity. So what's left? The only path most people will ever have access to. You trade something for money. That's the foundation. Everything, every job, every business, every deal is a trade. You give something and you receive money in return: time, skill, effort, risk. But here's where everything changes, because most people think, if I just trade more, I'll earn more. And that's where they get stuck, because the problem isn't how much you trade, it's what you trade and how you structure the trade. There's a ladder, invisible, but very real. And depending on where you stand on it, your financial life changes, not gradually, dramatically. Let's walk through it, slowly, because once you see it, you'll never look at money the same way again. Level 1, the safe trade. At the bottom is the most common trade in existence. You work, then you get paid. Simple, reliable, predictable. You show up, you perform, you get compensated. This is the structure most people live in. And on the surface, it feels safe. You know what's coming. You know what to expect. But underneath, there's a trade happening. You are trading uncertainty for stability. You are saying, I'm willing to give up upside in exchange for security. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But understand the limitation, because this structure has a ceiling. No matter how hard you work, your income is capped. Time becomes your bottleneck, and time is finite. Reality check. Break the myth. You've probably heard people say, just start a business. It's safer. It's better. That's not entirely true, because reality is, most businesses fail. Many don't even make money. Some people invest years and end up with nothing. So yes, this level is safe, but safety comes at a cost. Level 2, control with instability. Now we move slightly up. You get paid while you work, not after. It is not delayed, but continuously. This is the world of freelancers, contractors, service providers. You start earning earlier. You gain flexibility, but you also introduce a new problem: instability, because now you're easier to replace. Companies don't hesitate to cut vendors. There's less attachment, less friction, less commitment. So while you've gained freedom, you've increased risk. Transition, shift in power. And now, everything starts to change, because from this point forward, you stop chasing money and start controlling it. Level 3, payment before work. At this level, something subtle happens. You get paid first, then you work. Pause for a second. Feel that shift. Before, you had to prove yourself. Now, they have to commit to you. That's leverage, and leverage changes everything. Because once people pay up front, they're invested emotionally, financially, psychologically. Real world. This is how high-value professionals operate. Doctors, lawyers, consultants. They don't wait for payment. They require it because their value is already established. And the higher your perceived value, the more control you gain. Value versus effort. Here's the truth most people miss. Money does not follow effort. It follows value, and value is perception. If people believe you're worth it, they'll pay up front without hesitation. Level 4, the break point. Now we enter a different dimension. You don't get paid for working. You get paid when something happens, a result, an outcome, a transformation. This is where time stops being the main factor because now you are tied to performance. Shiver deep. Think about it. If you help someone grow their business, you earn a percentage. If you improve results, you share in the upside. If you deliver outcomes, you get rewarded. This is where income starts to scale because you are no longer limited by hours. You are limited by impact. Core truth, skill multiplies money, and impact comes from skill, not effort, not time, not hustle, skill. The better you are, the faster you produce results, and the faster you produce results, the more you earn. Risk frame. Now we uncover the real driver behind everything. Risk. You are always being paid in proportion to the risk you take. Low risk, low reward. Higher risk, higher reward. But here's the twist. The smartest people don't take more risk. They take smarter risk. To mispriced risk, power section. They look for situations where the risk looks big, but actually isn't. And because the market believes it's risky, they get overpaid. That's where wealth is created, not in effort, but in misunderstood opportunity. Level 5 or selling risk. Now we go deeper. What if instead of taking risk, you sold it? What if people paid you to carry their uncertainty? This is where things become powerful because now you get paid even when nothing happens. Insurance expanded. This is the foundation of insurance. People pay for protection, not for a product, not for time, for peace of mind. And if nothing goes wrong, you still keep the money, month after month, year after year. Why it works? Because humans fear loss more than they value gain. And they are willing to pay to remove that fear. That's leverage. Level 6, ultimate position. Now we reach the top, the position where money flows through you, and no matter what happens, you get paid. Deep visualization. You're no longer chasing transactions. You're sitting at the center of them. Every exchange passes through you, and you take your share automatically, consistently, endlessly. Philosophical insight, power. At this level, you are no longer working for money. Money is working through you, and that's the difference. Final truth, structure over effort. So what does all of this mean? It means this. Money is not about working harder. It's about structuring better. It's about understanding. Where is the risk? Who carries it? And how can you shift it? One deep reflection. Because most people spend their lives trading the wrong thing. They trade time for survival. They trade energy for security. And they never realize there was another game, a quieter game, a deeper game, where money flows to those who understand structure, not effort. Final line. So next time you think about money, don't ask, how can I work more? Ask, what am I really trading? And is it the right thing?